Hello guys, let's continue our discussion on the meridians and collaterals. So from the previous few videos, we have discussed the general introduction on the meridian and the collaterals. From the general introduction, there are a few aspects we need to understand. The first aspect is the name of the meridians. So we need to understand, we need to remember all the names of the 12 principal meridians, the actual meridians. And also we need to understand the characters of the flow, the direction, and the laws of the distribution. For instance, the three hand in meridian travel from the chest towards the hand, and then the three hand yang meridian travels from the hands towards the head. Three yang foot meridian travel from the head to the foot, and the three yin foot meridian travel from the foot to the abdomen and chest. So these are the general laws of the distribution of the 12 principal meridians. So you need to understand quite well, and these can benefit your study today when we discuss the meridians one by one. If you remember the direction, it will make you much easier to remember the pathways of each meridian. Okay. And then the last aspect we need to understand is the circulation direction. So the meridian, the qi and blood travels in the meridian in orders. So they move from one meridian to the other. And what's the directions in these meridians? That's the three aspects we need to remember from the previous few videos. The name of the meridian, the characters of the laws of the distribution, and also the circulation direction from the lung to the large intestine to the stomach to the spleen. So the circle we're going to remember. And from today, we're going to discuss the pathways of the 12 principal meridians. We're going to start from the lung meridian of hand tying. So the lung meridian of hand tying, it originates in the middle jaw. The middle jaw, when we study from the organs, 脏腑 organs, we have mentioned quite a few times that the middle jaw can refer to from the location. Upper jaw is the chest, in the chest region. Middle jaw is the one with the yellow circle. So the lung meridian originates from the middle jaw, and it descends to connect with the large intestine. It goes down first to connect with the large intestine, and then move all the way up to cardiac orifice. So it links to the heart, passing through the diaphragm and enter the lung. So it travels in the lung. Continually, it's ascending path. The path it passes through the respiratory tract into the throat. So it still keep going up to the throat, and then veers down, following the clavicle, and to emerge and start its surface pathway, entering the aster. It goes to internal to superficial. And then from the superficial, you travel from the shoulder, in front of the shoulder, the anterior aspect of the upper arm. So you travel from here all the way down to the thumb. That's one branch. The other branch separate from around this here. We will show you in the large intestine because it's at the other side of your hand. From this picture, we won't be able to show you. So that's the flow of lung meridian, and then the lung meridian ends at the thumb, and there's the other meridian, the other branch separate from the forearms to the back of the index finger. That's where it links to large intestine. So these are the pathways of the lung meridian. And then as you can see from the picture here, there's one blue broken line and there's one red line. All meridians, there's some part of the meridian travels in the body, internal. There's also have the superficial pathways, which is on our skin. So that's the flow of the lung meridian, and each meridian they have something similar. They also connect to each other. And then the next meridian is the large intestine meridian of hand Yangming. On the name, you will see that the large intestine meridian travels towards the hand, and also it's Yangming meridian, which means this meridian has the maximum, have the most of the yang. So this meridian has most of yang in the hands of the hands yang meridian. There's one meridian from the lung meridian. Go out from here. There's one branch. Go to the index finger. This is the law connection point. The law collection points and connection meridian. So as you can see from here, that's the function we mentioned in the general introduction. What's the function of law connecting meridian? The law connecting meridian make it closer relationship between different organs, different meridians, especially for the paired meridian. So from the lung meridian go to the large intestine, and the lung organ and the large intestine are paired organs. The meridians are paired meridians. And also from the pathways, you will see these meridians, they have a lot of connections in each other. So the lung meridian starts from the middle jaw, travels, extends to the large intestine, and change the direction, move outwards. So the lung meridian links to the large intestine. And then here we're going to discuss the large intestine. The meridian starts from the radial side of the tip of the index finger. So the radial side of the tip of the index finger goes all the way up, runs outwards along the anterior border of the lateral side of the upper extremities, proceeding to the highest points of the shoulder. So it goes all the way up to the shoulder. And then here it passes the 7 cervical vertebra and descending into the supraclavicle fossa. It travels to the back and swings back to the front, right in front of the supraclavicular fossa. and then from the supraclavicular fossa, divided into two branches. First branches travels. So the pathways from the fingertip to the shoulder to the back and then to the supraclavicular fossa are the pathways superficial on top of on the skin, and then from here there's one branch travels in the body, go to internally. On this spot, it travels goes in, can navigate the lung, and then run downwards through the diaphragm, goes all the way to the large intestine. So that's the internal pathways. The internal pathways of the large intestine link to the lung and also goes to the large intestine, and also from the supraclavicular fossa, there's another pathway, another branch remained on the surface and ascend to the neck, cheek, and enter the lower teeth and gum. The lower part of the teeth and gum continue to curve around the upper lip. Go to the upper lip, crossing the opposite meridian of Han Yangming, and travel to the side of nostril. So this meridian travels from one side and goes all the way up the surface pathway, goes all the way up to the face and then ends to the other side of the nose. That's why sometimes in the treatments we use especially for facial disorder such as Bell's palsy, we use the meridian in the opposite sides. So if someone suffering from the right side, we can use the points on the left hand. That's because the large intestine meridian travels towards the opposite side. And then from here, if you see that's the circulation of the meridian. That's why we say the flow, the circle, where the lung meridian ends, the fingertip of the thumb, and the one branch to the index finger. Where the lung meridian ends, where the large intestine meridian starts, and where the large intestine meridian ends is where the stomach meridian. So the next meridian we're going to talk about is the stomach meridian of foot Yangming. On the name, you will know that this meridian links to the stomach, and then it travels towards the foot. In name after Yangming, it means that this meridian has plenty of Yang Qi. And the pathway of this meridian, it starts from at the sides of the nostril, the area here, and at the sides of the nostril, it's actually the end point of the large intestine. So the large intestine meridian travels from the other side, goes all the way up to the face, all the way out to the face, and then around the mouth, lips. It crosses the middle line, and then it ends on the other side of the nostril. That's where the large intestine meridian ends. Then the stomach meridian starts from here, then it runs towards the bridge of the nose, also the inner canthus. That's where the stomach meridian meets the bladder bladder meridian of foot taiyang. It descends along the lateral sides of the nose and enters the upper gum, from where it curves around the lips. From here, you will see the stomach meridian enters the upper gum. And if you still remember in previous slides, that we said that's the large intestine meridian enters the lower gum. That's why in our clinics, if some patients suffer from upper gum problem or lower gum problem, or even for mouth problem or some dental problem in upper gum or lower gum, such as mouth ulcer, if the ulcer sits at the upper gum or at the lower gum, we might use different treatments towards stomach or large intestine. The reason is because the meridian of the large intestine and stomach enters in different gums, and this is an example of how to use the meridian for diagnostic. If the disease happens at the upper gum, we might focus on stomach more. If the disease happens in the lower gum or lower gum area, then we might focus on the large intestine more. And then the meridian from here, metalabial groove on the cheek. From here, it travels posterolaterally across the lower portion of the cheek at stomach 5. It goes here. And from here, it divided into 2 branches. One branch travels to the posterior aspects of the mandible, passing through facial artery, ascending in front of the ear, so ascending here, and following the anterior hairline, reach the forehead, up goes forehead. That's one branch. The other branch, also from stomach 5, goes all the way down. So from here, divided into 2 branches. The other branch descends from the cheek, travels laterally along the throat and supraclavicular fossa, divided into 2 branches again. The 2 branches, there's one from the face, there's one going up, the one branch. The second branch travels downwards. Once it travels downwards to supraclavicular fossa, divided into 2 again. One travels internally, one travels on superficial skin. So the first branch descends through the chest, diaphragm into the stomach, connect with the spleen, and go towards the groin. So that's one meridian goes here. It links to the stomach and spleen, and keep moving down to the groin area. This broken line indicates that this direction, this pathway, is internal. And there's another branch descends laterally on the body surface along the mammillary line. Tuchun goes all the way up down. And these 2 branches meet at the number 10. Meet the first branch. once they meet together, they keep going down. And this meridian ends at the second toe of the foot. There's another branch on the posterior edge of the patella. Goes all the way down and ends at the middle finger of the toe, and at the middle toe. And then there's another one branch splits from the dorsum of the foot and terminates at the medial sides of the big toes. So these two are the branches, and also from these toes, that's where we miss the spleen meridian. As you can see from the picture on the left side, the red line indicates the superficial pathways on surface, and then the blue broken line indicates the branches internally. So there's one branch towards the big toes, and then spleen meridian start from the big toes, medial sides of the toe. It passes along the medial side of the foot and at the junction of the red and white skin. What's the junction of the red white skin? It's actually indicate just describe the area at the dorsum of your foot. You have one color, yeah. And also in your sole, you might have lighter color. Everyone is similar. You have lighter color there. So where these two colors meet, that we call red and white skin, because your sole is whiter than the dorsum of your foot. The red white skin, the junction. So that's where it travels. This area, the red and white skin. Then it ascends in front of the medial malleolus of the medial aspect of the leg. They travel here all the way up to the abdomen. It ascends along the front of the medial side of the knee and thigh, entering the abdomen to the spleen. That the spleen meridian is linked to the spleen and pertaining the organs and connect with the stomach. So the spleen meridian also linked to the stomach. There's one branch from the stomach, from the internally. It travels all the way up to from alongside the esophagus, and then reach the root of the tongue and spreads underneath the tongue. There's one branch, another branch travels along the upper anterior body to the auxiliary fold, descend across the back of axilla and crosses again the front of the body. It goes here and all the way down again. This branch ascends along the esophagus, reach both sides of the base of the tongue. So from here, it ascends as well. The branch from the stomach travels outward through the diaphragm and flows into the heart, linked with the heart meridian of hand yin. So there's another branch goes to here, travel to the heart, link to the heart. So that's the spleen meridian. As you can see, the yin meridian, spleen. This meridian linked to the spleen, and from the foot, yin meridian. The yin meridian just starts from the foot, travels to the abdomen and chest. Right, that's the general law of this distribution. The heart meridian. The heart meridian begins also in meridian. It's hand in meridian, so it travels from the chest to the hand. This meridian begins in the heart and spreads over the heart system. So it starts from the heart system, pericardium, all those. It passes through the diaphragm and connect with the small intestine. So it goes downwards to the small intestine, one. And then it goes backwards, outwards, towards towards the eye system, goes all the way up, linked to the eye. There's another branch goes through the lung and emerge from the axilla. Goes along the posterior border of the medial aspect of the upper arm, travels along the inner sides of the little finger with tip. They travel from here all the way down to the little finger. Connect with the small intestine meridian. That's why sometimes some typical heart attack patient, they can feel the pains in these two fingers or around here. That's exactly where our meridian travels, the heart meridian travels. And when we study these meridians, I always introduce one side. On our body is like a mirror. So once we introduce, for instance, the heart meridian will only show you on the right side. On the left side, the same. So the flow will goes just like the mirror. The next meridian is the small intestine meridian of hand yang. This meridian also the yang meridian from the hand, so it travels from the hands towards the face, to the head. The meridian begins from the ulnar side of the tip of little finger, and then it travels from the ulnar side of the hand, travels upwards along the lateral side of the arm, all the way to the shoulder, and then from the shoulder, swing back from to the supraclavicular fossa. Swing to the front from here. There's one branch goes internally and linked to the heart. That's the small intestine. And also keep going down to through the diaphragm, linked to the stomach. Also enter small intestine. That's the pathway internally. There's another pathway from the supraclavicular fossa. The one branch from there ascends to the neck and then to the cheek, passing the outer cancers enter into the ear. So the one goes all the way up and pass the outer anther and goes back to the ear and enter the ear. There's another branch also from the cheek, goes to the inner cancers. Because of the small intestine meridian, it enters the ear. That's why sometimes we can use this meridian for the ears problem, such as tinnitus, the noise in the ear, or inflammation of the ear. Also, because the meridian travels around the shoulder, not the spines here, that's why we also can use this meridian for shoulder problem.